I guess drink each other's blood might mislead people, or like people are imagining us with like goblets and we're like Game of Thrones drinking each other's blood. It's just a few drops, but yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes only. It is used for a reason and it is controlled where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood and each drink it.
Let's see if you taste as good as your brother.
So not too long ago, Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly revealed that they drink each other's blood for ritual purposes. And obviously the internet was having a field day with that information, simply because for years there have been thousands and thousands of conspiracy theories about celebrities being part of the Illuminati. And apparently the secret society is performing satanic rituals, all in return for money and fame and power and all of that stuff. And apparently part of those rituals is drinking human blood as well as animal blood, and also promising your firstborn child to the man down there, if you know what I mean. So yeah, obviously that information, they knew what they were doing with it. But also, what if I tell you that this is not necessarily just a conspiracy theory? I mean, not the Illuminati part, I have no idea about that. But the fact is that there are a group of rich older people that inject themselves with young people's blood that they legally buy, all in hopes of staying young and healthy for longer. And this is not a conspiracy theory, it's a real thing. You can look it up, but I'm going to tell you all about it. But not just that, we're gonna take a deep dive into some celebrities that are a bit obsessed with blood or have done projects with blood. Because if you look at it, it seems like there's nothing that blood can't do. And I don't know, as a society, we're kind of obsessed with it. So if that sounds interesting, stay tuned. And also, if this is the type of content you enjoy, then make sure you subscribe to my channel, you like this video, you turn on your notifications, and you have a dialogue in the comment section, because I would love to know what you lot are thinking. But yeah, anyway, with that being said, my name is Nika, and let's dive into it. The startup Ambrosia made waves when they started conducting clinical trials with transfusions in the mid-early 2000s. They had 100 participants, and the goal was to inject the older patients with the blood plasma of the younger patients. Each of these procedures cost around $8,000 and require 2.5 liters of blood. And if you don't know, plasma is the liquid element of blood that remains after you've removed all of the other cells. The procedure is being offered as an experimental attempt at rejuvenating the elderly. The median age group of the participants is 60 years. Apparently it could help improve things such as appearance or diabetes or heart function or even memory. Now, where did this idea come from, you're probably wondering? So over the last 20 years, Stanford researchers have shown the joining of circulatory systems between old and young mice to be effective in rejuvenating organs, muscles, and stem cells. Another study showed that plasma of young people itself had a rejuvenating effect when injected into older mice. The issue is that people want to believe in this so bad, but there's no actual evidence that this is working in humans. Now, if you're like me, then the first thing that comes to your mind is probably how dangerous this is going to be for poor people if this becomes a bit of a more mainstream thing. Now, we're already living in a society in which only rich people and criminals can really benefit from. And unfortunately, we're also living in a world in which human trafficking is not uncommon at all. So this will just add another item to the list of why you should be watching your back. But outside of that, critics have also pointed out the danger of unnecessarily exposing people to the danger of blood transfusion, which can include hives, it can include lung injury, and it can also cause you fatal infection from which you can die. And then, of course, there's a problem with the ethics of buying blood transfusions to use it for expensive experimental purposes instead of actually giving it to the people that really need it and can die if they don't get it. Imagine a world in which we run out of blood for life-saving purposes just so older people can stay young longer. In early 2019, the federal government finally took a stand on vampires feasting on the blood of the young, and then towards the end of 2019, the clinical trials have been shut down by the FDA. However, only a few months later, Ambrosia did reopen its doors and they seem to be still operating, although I could not find any more information or proof on whether or not this has been proven to be the way to immortality. The vampire miracle cure is just one of the numerous treatments that have formed a multi-billion-dollar rejuvenation business. Human beings have been keen on the idea since at least the ancient Egyptians, and some are legit or involve minimal risk, such as taking fish oils to improve memory. Some others are potentially dangerous. Everyone seems to be looking for this magic cure to fight death and stay immortal, from Jeff Bezos to Elon Musk. There's even a Russian billionaire called Dmitry Itskov who has launched a 2045 initiative. This initiative aims to map the brain in such a way where it can be downloaded into a robot or synced with holograms. And believe it or not, some experts speculate that humans could achieve immortality by 2050, which is basically around the corner. Now, back to Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. So now we know that drinking each other's blood obviously is very different from injecting yourself with someone's blood. And I'm not exactly sure what's more creepy. What is the worst? Drinking someone's blood, injecting yourself with someone's blood, or the fact that there's such thing as the New Orleans Vampire Association, with its co-founder being named as one of the demons from Charmed, which is Balthazar. And it's gonna get worse. So Balthazar, the co-founder of the New Orleans Vampire Association, obviously heard about Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox rituals, and he was very concerned because blood does carry a lot of diseases after all. So he's advising the couple to take the necessary precautions to not get sick. Ding! And here I thought vampires could heal themselves. But to be fair, I do get my information from the Vampire Diaries and the original, so probably not the best source of truth. But anyway, these two are not the only ones obsessed with blood. Let's go over a list of celebrities that have either launched projects including blood or have done some other weird rituals with blood to stay young, or maybe even show their love to another person. So I hope you're ready for that. Get your popcorn ready and your wine, and maybe not red wine to not be weird. How about a beer? Yeah, get some popcorn and a beer. Let's talk about this. Jim Parrick revealed that he enjoys drinking his own blood on occasion. He explained that his thirst for blood was similar to the reason some people want some alcohol or cocktails. And while he says it's not something he does regular, he noted that he does do it a couple times a year. Julia Fox creates art using her own blood. She created her own art show in 2017 titled R.I.P. Julia Fox. Part of the collection of artwork included paintings that she used her own blood to create. She says she used it because she wanted the show to be as authentic and personal as possible. She extracted the blood and used it to paint on silk. She said blood is so precious, it's only right that it be used and displayed on a fabric which is just as precious. Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton wore each other's blood around the necks, which I believe Meghan and MGK also do. They did it as a romantic gesture because they have been apart so much while they were married. Lil Nas X collaborated with the art collective MSCHF to create a limited edition sneaker that featured real human blood. While the musician refrained from using his own blood, it did feature a droplet from the member of the art collective. Tony Hawk created a skateboard using his own blood. He donated his blood for a collaboration with Liquid Death to produce skateboards that included droplets from his body. In a video, Tony showed his blood getting drawn and joked that he probably should have read the fine print on his contract. Kiss printed a comic book using ink that contained their blood. In 1977, Kiss teamed up with Stan Lee and Marvel to release a comic book. They used ink that contained blood from the members of the band. After the blood was donated, it was mixed with red ink and then used to print a Marvel comic super special. Kim Kardashian is going for the vampire facial. It is an anti-aging treatment where a patient's own blood is withdrawn, spun into a centrifuge to create platelet-rich plasma, and then re-injected back into their own skin. So if you have a spare $1,500, you can go for it. Outside of the beauty world, athletes are also using their own blood to recover from injuries and increase performance. Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant, and Rafael Nadal have tried injectable blood therapy before. Fortunately, no one had to be murdered for any of this to happen. Now, after all of this, the question arises, is there anything that blood can't do? And at the moment, the possibility seems to be endless. There are even some studies currently going on what else blood can help with, for example, hair growth, nail growth, and all of that stuff. But in reality, the average person will not be bathing in blood anytime soon because all of these treatments will, as always, be completely unaffordable for the average person. It's just something that the rich and privileged have access to, and you know, this is absolutely fine because we don't want to catch any diseases through blood transfusion or blood sucking, or you know what I mean. Like, blood can be dangerous after all, and we should be very careful with the things that we're experimenting. And I don't know if the average person is really looking for immortality either, but regardless of that, I figured this was a fun video, something a little bit different to my usually a bit more depressing content. So if this is something you enjoyed and something you'd like to see more often from me, then please let me know in the comments. And yeah, as always, subscribe, like, share. My name is Nika, and I hope to see you in my next video.